Good morning, happy Wednesday. I am very excited to be starting this video because Read Your Bookshelf-a-thon is finally starting. I've been looking forward to this for months. I think Miranda announced in October that she was going to be bringing this readathon back, and so yeah, I'm excited. It's finally here. It is a Wednesday morning, so I do have to work today and tomorrow and then the beginning of next week. This goes from the 13th to the 21st, I believe. And I'm going to be trying to read 7 books in 7 days. So wish me luck. I am quickly going to show you what I'm going to be reading this week and then get started and go to work. So I did pull these off my shelves to take a picture of them the other day. So this is what I'm reading. I'm going to be going from here to here. I organized my shelves by author last name. So as you can see, they go from Allie James, so from J, K through L. And I know you guys trust me, but I'll still show you that there is, like, I didn't skip any books in there. They were pulled from like this area, which I do have a book that I had 2 books by the same author, so you're allowed to just read one and continue. And so if I get to those 7 books, I'm not going to continue because Lone Survivor would be the next thing, and I'm saving that for a different like project. So if I get through those 7, I'll just be done for the week. But yeah, I love that this is a readathon based on like getting through your physical TBR. It is, I can't remember if I already just said this. If I did, I'll cut this out. Like, the point of the readathon is to start somewhere on your bookshelves and read all the books in order going forward. Sometimes she has done like go backwards, but this is a traditional round. You're supposed to move, you know, forward. So like I said, I've been anticipating this readathon. I'm excited to start. With that being said, trying to read 7 books, I'm probably going to try to keep this as minimal as possible. I'm probably going to give updates when I'm halfway through a book and then when I finish a book, and not much more than that. I don't want this to be too long. Like my 3-book vlogs sometimes end up being like 20 to 30 minutes, so I'm gonna need to keep it under control here. For Wednesday, I will be starting From Alaska with Love by Allie James today. My plans kind of got thrown off track today. My dad lives about an hour from me, but he like does traveling sales. He sells windows and siding. Not very exciting, but he doesn't very often have appointments in the town that I live in, and he did today. And he called me and said like, hey, do you want me to stop by? He hasn't seen our house yet since we did work on it, which we're still like in the process of. I haven't put stuff completely back together even though the project's basically done. Like, usually a huge trigger for me is last minute plans or last minute changes to my plans or changes to my day. So I know when he asked, like, I'm trying to do better and let stuff go. So I said yes. And he did come over tonight, and I'm just trying to, like, really in my mind, trying to be okay with it, trying to let it go. I was happy to see him, but yeah, it's hard for me to let my plans go away. I know that might sound silly or ridiculous, but it's just something I struggle with, and it is what it is. But this morning I did read, and I am on page 39 of From Alaska with Love. I'm gonna get as far as I can tonight yet. But I am unfortunately going to be starting this like a little bit behind, like starting my week a little bit behind, but losing 3 hours of my day still shouldn't set me back from finishing my goal. So yeah, that's how the first day of this readathon is going for me. It is day 2 now, and I literally have the best news. My boss already called a snow day for tomorrow, so I'm not going to have to work tomorrow. I'm going to have all day off, and it's Friday. And also tonight I just ordered Caesar salad from like my favorite local Italian restaurant, and I'm so excited for it. I'm halfway through my first book. I'm halfway through From Alaska with Love, and I'm really liking it. The only thing that I have to say about it, which I haven't given a synopsis of this book yet, but it is basically a girl writes a Dear John letter to a soldier and leaves her email, and they start corresponding, and at this point they've been like talking back and forth for a long time. I think the last time they gave a time it was like over 7 months, but they're finally like about to meet. Like, he's getting leave and it's getting really good. But the only bad thing I have to say is just about like how technology is used, because for so long they have been talking between emails, and then they did start texting, and then they were FaceTiming, but it is very like formal texting. Like they text in full paragraphs, they text in just like not how I would casually text someone, if you know what I'm saying. So that's my only like thing about that, but it is cute and I love stories like this. The synopsis of the book says that basically he asks her to move to live with him, and that hasn't actually happened in the book yet. But I am really enjoying that one. I should be able to finish it tonight, and I'm getting good supper, and I have work off tomorrow, so it should improve from here. So I did just finish From Alaska with Love by Allie James, and I ended up giving this 3 stars. I was really enjoying it, but I can recognize that this isn't like an amazing book. It was overall like a pretty cheesy contemporary, but like I said, I was loving it. It was like right book, right time kind of thing, and I was going through this fast, and yeah, I was just enjoying it. I will say this is like an older couple romance, not like old, but they're like in their 30s romance. It's a military romance, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. But now I get to move on to probably one of my most anticipated releases, and I've been putting this off, and I'm so happy I finally get to read it. And it is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This has been pitched basically as an adult book that feels like a middle grade, so I'm excited for that. And this is also, I'm reading this for my pick for Nicoletta's, one of Nicoletta's favorite books. If you haven't seen any of my previous, I've been reading some of my friends' favorite books this month, so this will tick off me getting to Nicoletta's. It is now day 3, and it is my snow day, and I have been like treating today like a full 8-hour work day of reading and trying to finish The House in the Cerulean Sea like today. And I am about halfway through right now. It's just afternoon, so I have been like sitting and reading basically all day. And like I said, this is one of my most anticipated books of the year, and it's almost better than I was expecting. We are following our main character, Linus, and he is a caseworker who goes to orphanages that have like magical children, and he gets like a special assignment to go to an orphanage on an island that is believed to have like more troublesome kids than what he usually deals with. And he's spending a month there, and he's quickly learning that like these kids aren't as troublesome as they seem, and that the way this orphanage is ran is different, but maybe not in a bad way. And it's just like so good. The kids feel very like outcast because of their magical being and just how they've been treated in society in general. And just the way that some things are said and the feelings in this book are amazing. And I would agree that this feels like a middle grade, but it is an adult book. So I think there's no way that this tanks for me. Like at the halfway point, I think this is for sure gonna be a 5-star book. I'm completely enjoying it. I don't want to set it down at all, considering I'm fully putting my attention to it. Usually I wouldn't be able to focus on something for that long, but I'm enjoying this one so much. I do think I didn't have to go to work today. Chris did go to work this morning, but he texted me that he was getting off at lunch, so he should be home soon. So I'm hoping I can keep some quiet in the house and continue and hopefully be done with this like around 4 o'clock. So I've basically been sitting in the same spot for 8 hours. Like of the last 8 hours, I read it 6 hours and 12 minutes, which is how long it took me to read that entire book. And I think I just found my new favorite book. It was so good. Like I don't feel prepared to talk about it, but it was amazing. So good. You need to read it. It's 4:05, and I'm gonna take a little break, take a shower, have supper, and then maybe start something else tonight, but I need some time to sit with my emo feelings about The House in the Cerulean Sea right now. Good morning, happy day 4. I did just want to check in and give a little bit more of a concise description of what The House in the Cerulean Sea is and fill you in on my plans for today. But The House in the Cerulean Sea, yesterday I finished and I was clearly just like on a high. Didn't say much about it, but it is like a found family story in the best way possible. And it's whimsical and it's queer and it is like a two lonely people type of romance, which I've said before is like one of my favorite things. I know that's kind of unpopular opinion, but I love that. So yeah, I'm definitely still on that high, and I wasn't really ready to move on yesterday, but I did start and get 50 pages into The Other Misses by Mary Kubica, and I'm pretty sure this is a domestic thriller. I didn't even read the back of this book. It was just next on my shelf, so I'm gonna read it regardless. My next two books are actually thrillers, and I'm gonna try to get through this and as much of the next one is Someone We Know by Sherry Lapina. So I'm gonna be reading thrillers today, but yeah, still not really sure what this is. Basically, this couple moved to a new town because the husband was cheating on her, so they're trying to like get away from everything that was going on, and they're also taking care of a niece because I think her mom died. So like one of their siblings died, so they're taking care of like a teenager, but not really sure other than that what's happening. I am on the water train today, so that's good. Getting my hydration up. I'm still like coming off of caffeine. I've talked about that a couple times now, that I am weaning myself off of caffeine. So today's a water day, but I did spend quite a bit of time this morning reading, and I am at like page 265 of The Other Misses. It's about a 400-page book. I'm making good progress. I did just take a break, but I'm getting ready to jump back in now and finish it. It is, I don't know, I feel like sometimes domestic thrillers get kind of tired, or like you've seen the same trope so many times, but I am enjoying the writing, and I haven't got to the twist yet, so I can't tell you if it's predictable or not. It is kind of feeling like a unreliable narrator type of situation. You're not knowing if the main girl, Sadie, is necessarily, if her reality is what's true, or her remembering things is true. But yeah, I'm really happy. I've had a good like 2 days in a row of reading. It is only like, I think it's like 1:30 right now, so when I finish that I will definitely have time to move on and start Someone We Know by Sherry Lapina. I am, with this challenge, like reading your books in a row. Usually I wouldn't read 2 thrillers like this right in a row. I would do a bit of a palate cleanser in between, but those are how they were on my shelf, so I'm gonna do it, but it might cloud my judgment of the second one a little. Unfortunately, The Other Misses used like a plot twist that I'm really not a huge fan of, and something that I think is super overdone, and I didn't like it the first time I read it, let alone this is like the 10th time I've read it. So yeah, that flopped for me. I did give it 2 stars because I didn't mind Mary Kubica's writing style, and I at least would guess that she hasn't used the same like plot twist in all of her books, so I would give her another try. But yeah, that just went to a place that I don't personally like. If you read a lot of domestic thrillers or are into the genre, you've probably read the trope, the twist before. So yeah, I am moving on now to Someone We Know by Sherry Lapina, and this is at least a little bit different of a thriller. I don't think it's necessarily a domestic thriller. My understanding is this follows like a small town, and someone's breaking into houses and spreading like secrets about people based on what they're finding in their houses. I don't know, I haven't even started it yet. Good morning, happy day 5. It is a new day, but I'm wearing the same top today. Whatever. But I did wake up at like 5:30 this morning. Chris had to work today, so his alarm went off at 5 and I couldn't get back to sleep. So I got up, I went to Starbucks, and I have been sitting here reading. I have basically decided that I don't think I'm gonna be able to get 7 books in 7 days done, so I am going to be focusing on reading today, but also taking some time to do some stuff around the house. I am at the halfway point of Someone We Know by Sherry Lapina right now, and it's pretty good. Sherry Lapina has not been like a favorite author of mine in general, but she writes average things and I generally enjoyed them well enough that I keep picking them up. This one is the concept that I said, that there is a teenage boy that has been breaking into houses in the neighborhood, but there is also somebody in the neighborhood went missing and is found dead. Like, this happens right at the beginning, and so it's a big concern that this teenage boy has been breaking into houses because his parents are scared that his fingerprints might be in the house of this murdered girl. But it is more of a domestic thriller than I was thinking, because it is like this, the husband's getting suspected, but there is in this town just a lot of rumors. Everybody's talking. It is very like, there's a book club and they all gossip, and then the girls all go around to each other's houses and spread rumors or just talk about what they're hearing. So I'm thinking that some of the talk in the town isn't going to be true. Like, some of it's going to be true and some of it's not. But that's just how I'm feeling. It is only like 300 pages and I'm right at the 150 page mark. It's bedtime now, but I did just in time just finish Someone We Know by Sherry Lapina, and I thought it was a really good, like, solid thriller. I think Sherry Lapina is a great place to start with thrillers, and yeah, I liked where this one went. I've been using the CallPile rating system, like, just starting in 2021, and this just skimmed the 4-star rating for me, so it was like the very minimum score it needed to be a 4-star. So it's right in that, like, just above average, but I would definitely recommend this, and it's probably in my top 2 of Sherry Lapina's. I think I've read 4 of her books now. But I did decide that since I know I'm not gonna finish all 7 books, that I am going to call it quits on this challenge, call it quits on RYBSAT for this round. So I'm going to be skipping. Up next, I would have been reading Autobiography by Christina Lauren, and I know I'm not going to be able to finish it, so I decided to skip that and The Liar's Room. And I am going to pick up for my next read, which is actually a reread, but I'm gonna read Legend still because it is one of my 2013 rereads, and I'm trying to reread my favorites from that year. So I am still gonna read this, but I'm gonna cut this vlog here, and I would say this round was a success, even though I'm stopping it a little early. I read 4 books in 5 days, and 3 of those books I would consider things that probably would have sat on my shelf for a while. I didn't have immediate interest in them. The House in the Cerulean Sea I was gonna get to. Like I said, even before I knew how much I really was gonna love it, I was highly anticipating that book. But the other 3 probably would have sat on my shelves for a while. So that's exactly what I needed from this round of RYBSAT to try to get through some of my physical TBR. But if you're still here, I appreciate you so much for sticking through this vlog with me, and I would love if you would comment down below a book on your shelves that you've been maybe putting off, and maybe you should get to it soon. But I will talk to you again very soon. Bye!